So happy New Year.
Happy New Year
to you and the family.
That's good. Whenever you and I sit down, and you and I do this annually.
Yes.
This is the annual thing. People look forward to it for you and I to sit down and talk. But you know what? There are so many things that you know.
Yes.
That you've not begun to share with the public yet. I mean, you are.
Some you can't.
Some you can't. You're a doctor. You found cures that you've not talked about yet. And I know you've got a blockbuster book about to come out. There are a lot of people out there suffering, dying. They feel they have diseases that are incurable.
Yes.
But you may have found the secret to a lot of the things that doctors cannot find cures for as it relates to many diseases out there, like cancer,
yes,
diabetes. Let's just talk about you as a nutritionist and some of the formulas that you found and are writing about that has been tried and proven to cure.
You're kind of psychic. I put something in my little pouch that I was going to give you off the show for your health and your friends. And now you bring it up. All right, first let me go back my background. I thought that good nutrition was long as what you liked, it was enough of it. And bad nutrition is when it ran out. Yeah. I mean, I come through St. Louis, Missouri, rigid racial segregation pattern, and inside you keep having this thing for sweetness. And I didn't realize till I got grown that sweetness you want is human dignity. I didn't realize it wasn't sugar, it wasn't a Twinkie, it wasn't a bottle of soda pop. And then to find out that one soda pop makes your bloodstream 10,000 times more acid than God meant for it to be. I was brought up believing that black folks was on the right side of God, I didn't believe all white folks would go to hell, but I thought most of them would be there, and all black folks would be in heaven. And then I started looking at the ankles swollen and the sugar diabetes and the high blood. This before I had stats. I mean, I can sit here now and tell you that African Americans is less than 12% of America's population, and yet as we sit here now, 87% of everybody on kidney dialysis machines is black folks. There's something wrong with that number. They don't have one kidney dialysis machine in all of Africa, not because they're too poor, they don't need them. Black men, less than 4% of America's population, 83% of prostate cancer death is black men. And then they tell us, well, you know what it is? You haven't been examined. You don't get checked. Hey, where they get checked in Africa? Where they get checked? If you understand what I'm saying? If me not going to the clinic, being checked, is the cause of it being so high, then when you go to Africa, you can go 5,000 miles and don't even see a little first aid center.
Not even a clinic.
You hear me? Mm-hmm. So then you say, let me throw that out the window. Young black teenage boys in America have more asthma deaths in 1 year than all the asthma deaths on this planet put together. Well, first, what we're not aware of yet, and the medical researchers haven't touched, is that 98% of what you die from basically starts from dehydration. So now what does this mean? It means that an asthma attack is like a drinking water. An asthma attack is the brain sends a message to squeeze the water out of the lungs. And most of the time, 6 quick glasses of water would kind of break that up. Now, why aren't black women, you know what I said, more black teenage boys die from asthma every year in America than all the asthma deaths on this planet? How about the women? Well, the black teenage boys is high because what they drink? Gatorade, soda pop, Kool-Aid, and lemonade.
Gatorade is not good for you.
Well, I'm not saying that. It can't substitute for water. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying?
You have to drink water.
You look, oil is good for my car, but I don't put it in the gas tank. You have to drink water. The number one cause of death in America is not homicide or drugs or suicide. The number one death in America is sleep deprivation.
Lack of sleep.
Sleep deprivation.
So how much much sleep does the body require?
The universal order requires that you must be in bed 90 minutes after the sun go down to get the brain recharged after 12 midnight. You know the story of Cinderella? She's not back in the house by midnight. She turns into a pumpkin. After midnight.
Now, when does the sun go down?
It changes. It goes down different every day. On
What's
your
the
season.
average time it goes down?
It varies. In the summertime, it goes
What
down.
about the wintertime now?
Well, in the wintertime, it's your shortest. In the wintertime, if the sun, let's say if the sun was down at 5:30, you got 90 minutes before you go to bed.
So they should be in bed
At 90 minutes.
by 7 o'clock.
When do bears hibernate? In the wintertime, right?
Now, this is news. I've not heard this. You're telling me that we should be in bed 90 minutes after the sun goes down?
Now, let me back up for a minute.
Okay.
Let's say God only came to the planet once, right? And God had not been back to fix it or change it. There were no lights. So if there were no lights tonight,
There's total darkness.
yeah, what would you do? You do all your stuff in the daytime, right? And at nighttime, you ain't gonna sew a quilt.
So now let me get back to this. So you're saying that an individual should be in bed at least by 7 or 7:30.
It depends. Whenever the sun go down, and then you also got to put in daylight saving time.
Let's say the sun goes down here about 6 p.m.
All right, then you should be in bed by 8:30.
By 8:30.
Yes.
Okay. How many hours of sleep do you need once you're in
you
that
need
bed?
about 9 hours. Now,
9 hours
Let me
every
show you
night?
what happens. Let me show you what happens.
Okay.
At the first 90 minutes, your brain gets recharged. Okay.
While you're in bed.
While you sleep, the brain gets recharged.
So when you say in 9 hours, you mean sleeping.
Sleeping.
Not just lying in the bed.
Not just lying in the bed.
Okay.
Sleeping. The
All
brain gets recharged, and then after that, the body starts purifying and cleansing itself. If you went to the doctor and got a blood test today, okay? When I did a fast for 82 days at a hospital in New Orleans because I wanted scientific data to find out what happens to the human body during starvation. And I never understood out of all the blood they was taking out of me, the blood guy never showed up on time, and I loved it because I couldn't stand a needle. Except when I went to bed at night, okay? He was there right before I went to bed, and I got up every morning at 4 o'clock, and he was there. So I asked the guy, I said, man, why do Dracula be late all the time getting blood? And here's what he told me. When you wake up in the morning, your blood sugar, when you sleep at night, your blood sugar builds up, and you use that all day long. And they wanted to know when I wake up, you know, how high was my blood sugar? And they want to know when I go to bed at night, how low. They found out on the fast it never dips.
You know,
It stays the same.
9 hours.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you this. I average 7 or 8 hours of sleep every night.
Yes.
I actually was feeling good about the answer. But you're telling me we need 9 hours every night?
Yeah, but listen. Let me tell you something about sleep deprivation, okay? On the Oprah Winfrey Show, there was an extreme case of sleep deprivation. See, here's what happened. When you go to sleep at night, after you get X amount of hours of sleep, a chemical is manufactured in the brain. Oh? Okay, you hear me? That's God's gift. Not to get that is the equivalent to running out of gas.
So it takes you 9 hours to get the complete.
Complete.
Get it complete.
Complete.
Let me raise this with. This is good.
But let me just finish, please.
Okay, yeah, please.
Extreme on the Oprah Winfrey Show of sleep deprivation. Every day, this guy's wife carries the child to preschool every day. He picks up the child every evening. But on Thursday, he have to take the child to school. So one Thursday, he goes to pick the child up, and he said, child haven't been here. So he calls his wife, Susan, I thought you was gonna, how come you didn't drop Mary off? Today's Thursday, sleep deprivation. He forgot the child was in the back of the car. He went to work, let the windows up, 106, the child is dead.
That's what happens?
Sleep deprivation. And the reason most folks is not wealthy and out of poverty, because in sleep deprivation, you make quick decisions.
So, what happens to someone, let's say, if they only get 4 or 5 hours of sleep? Some people would tell you they don't need much sleep.
Yeah, wait.
I don't believe that, though. Hey.
There's
tell
a
us.
universal order that put everything together, okay? And the universal order will not change its laws because of a human. Those laws are there.
So it's a slow death.
It's a slow death. Not only that, now let me say what you such a little, you know you're psychic.
Oh, no, it's just, I'm
You
really,
know, don't even.
You really have my attention here today, baby. You
Listen,
have no idea.
listen.
Go ahead.
Go back to what you said, 4 hours. Okay, here's what happens. In 4 hours, I need what they call a stimulant. That stimulant can come from being hostile, okay? Because it gets my adrenaline up, but it's really my lack of sleep. That stimulant can come from alcohol or drugs. The #1 drug addict in America is not these little punks on the corner, it's the elderly folks that 98% of those prescriptions they got is drug related, okay? So cigarettes, nicotine, eating is a stimulus.
So tell us this, because America's watching this. What's the minimum? I mean, if they cannot get 9.
There is no.
So they got to get 9 hours every night.
What's the minimum where I can rob you? If I take a penny or take $1 million, I have robbed you.
So you've got to get 9 hours of sleep every night.
That's universal law.
Here's what I want to come back to. I know we're about to go to break. Now, it's interesting what you said about being hostile and all that. When we come back.
Don't tell me till we come back.
Okay, I won't tell you.
Yeah.
Dick Gregory, sleep deprivation. You need 9 hours of sleep. That means I need to be in bed by 7:30, so 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30. I do pretty good.
You're up. You're also supposed to be up 90 minutes before sunrise.
Oh, no, I'm up around 4:30.
Okay,
Let me just say this. I'm always in bed before 8 o'clock and sleep by 8:30.
That's great.
And I'm up around 4:30. So that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's my routine. I'm going to tell you this. We're going to break. I cannot function unless I get 7 or 8 hours of sleep. I cannot function, and it carries me through the entire day until around 6 p.m.
I told you.
When the
blessed.
sun sets.
Yes.
And then by that time, I can't even function anyhow.
Yeah.
But you can retrain the body.
Sure.
And you make the body feel it's okay to get 4 or 5 hours of sleep. But that's not its natural order.
At all.
And you're going to pay a price for it in the long run.
That's right.
All right. All right, Dick Gregory is with us for the full hour. And we're making progress. If sleep, if it's mandated that we get 9 hours of sleep, what the sleep does is rejuvenates and exercises the body. The
whole body.
The internal body, especially. So if sleep does that for the internal body, how important is physical exercise for the external body?
Okay, now.
And how does that tie together?
All right, now let's go back now. Sleep.
Because, let me say why I say it. We make such a big deal out of exercise and that you feel better. You need to stay in shape. It reduces the risk of heart attacks and diabetes. Now, I must tell you, for me, exercise has really improved my health.
It depends on the type of exercise.
Okay, talk to us.
If one drink of alcohol is equivalent to smoking 2 packs of cigarettes. One marathon run is equivalent to smoking 6 packs of cigarettes. Okay.
I don't understand.
It breaks down free radicals in the body. Now you got to clean those free radicals out.
So if you smoke 6 packs of cigarettes, if you do a marathon for how long?
If you do a marathon, 26 miles. But remember, you got to train for a marathon.
Totally cancels that out.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
And so
not cancel the cigarettes out. If you smoke 6 packs of cigarettes, it's like smoking 12 packs of cigarettes.
So it's deadly.
It's deadly. Now let's go back. Let's go back to what you just said. See, the problem with you ask such brilliant questions, they overlap, and then you mess up my little computer.
Okay, help us out.
I'm coming in here on 1 hour sleep. You got 8 hours. So see, the next time I come on your show, I'm gonna sleep for a week.
So you don't even live by your own
It's not my rule.
By the sleep.
Hey, I come down. Hey, when I just drink a 5th of scotch a day, I wasn't living by my rule. I thought I was being cool.
But I don't want to interrupt what you're doing.
Let's go back.
Let's go back.
Now, because the exercise piece is nice. Now, we're going to leave sleep with this. Once you recharge your battery, it works, right?
Oh, it works.
All right. Now, if you don't recharge it long enough, then it's not going to work.
You're going to be sluggish.
Not only that, you got some batteries, you have to charge them X amount of hours, or it's not going to work at all.
It's true.
Now, let's leave from that before we get to exercise and go to the number 2 cause of death. Okay?
Sleep is number 1.
Number 1. Dehydration is number 2. Water, lack of water. Now, take an eyedropper one day when you get home and eyedropper, fill it up with water and take one drop of water. 1 drop of water has enough electrical universal energy in it to tear down an 11-story building. So when you deprive yourself out of the water that the body's supposed to have, you're depriving yourself of energy. Don't you remember before we live in the system we live in now, trains used to go from the East Coast to the West Coast on steam, right? Pulling all of that freight.
All that cargo.
Boats used to go all the way around the planet on steam, right? So now water is the number 2 cause of death.
How much should we consume a day?
You know, they say 8 glasses a day. No. Whatever you weigh in pounds, you're supposed to drink half that in ounces. If you weigh 100 pounds, 50 ounces of water a day. You weigh 200 pounds, 100 ounces. You weigh 500 pounds, 250 ounces of water a day. That creates the flow for your set. In other words, if you have a hole in your gas tank, and we have the same size tank, you have to put more gas in more often than I do. You understand? Because mine's not leaking. Okay, so now we got number 2. Now let's go to physical fitness.
That's number 3.
Number 3. Now let me tell you the problem with not doing physical fitness. The body has what they call a lymph system, the lymphoma, you hear lymphoma, cancer. Now, the lymph system is like the garbage collector that comes to your neighborhood and picks up the garbage. Not the trash, just the garbage. Okay? So the lymph system do nothing but pick up the filth out of the bloodstream, out of the system, all the parts out of the system. Now, the lymph system have 45 pints of fluid, okay? Ooh. But no pump. There's no pump.
Oh, I know where you're going.
There you go. Okay, see there.
No, go ahead. No, I understand.
Oh, no, I know. I'm
just explaining to the.
I am. Right. You know I am. Right. Now, the blood, you have 13 pints and a pump.
Needs to be stimulated.
You okay?
Right.
Now, if I came to your house today to a party and there was 1,000 people and we all used your toilet and didn't flush the chain, it would overflow, what? In your house, right? So when you don't get exercise, the lymph system and the poison overflows.
Now, you know what? And I'm going to tell you something. Now, you know what? It's a fact that when I exercise, my bowels,
yes,
and even the urinary tract,
yes,
it's just fluid.
So yes,
it flows. It is amazing. It is as if one triggers the other.
Yes.
And that is true.
That's true.
That's true. And you know what? It's not a strain. It's so natural.
That's what the universe is about. That's what the universe is about. So now, the best exercise, okay, is walking.
Oh, that's what I do.
Not on a treadmill.
Oh, I walk.
And those who have a treadmill should always open up a window. Because you see, when I breathe out, carbon monoxide comes out. If there's not air out there to take it out, I breathe it right back in.
So you're saying a treadmill is okay if you're not going to walk. It's better than doing nothing at all.
It's better than doing nothing.
But walking around that track or walking outside, you cannot beat it.
Now there you go again.
The track.
The track. Never walk on the track 7 days a week.
Oh no, maybe 2 or maybe 3.
And then no, you can walk 7 days a week, but not on the track. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
The only way you can strengthen the central nervous system is when you're walking. You can also do it jogging. I don't want to talk about it because that's bad for the body. Is when you're on an unflat surface. Because when the foot shakes, the brain has to say, what's going on here? And then you strengthen the central nervous system. That's why
land.
When you go to the best spas in the world, they have trails, don't they?
That's true.
With gravels on them, right?
That's right.
And so these trails, when you step on the gravel, your foot moves backwards and forwards. And when your foot, in other words, when I do that, something happens to your brain. Your brain felt it. So when I'm walking on an unsmooth surface, the brain is, and now I'm strengthening.
Well, then it would have to have that same kind of trigger if you're on a treadmill, because that pouncing.
Wait a minute, you're not on an unsmooth surface. That's one thing. Okay,
it's perfectly
treadmill.
even.
Yeah, even. Okay, so what you said is better if I'm gonna spend 30 minutes doing something. Look, if you tell me I can go to the bank for 30 minutes and get bags of money, or go to the window for 30 minutes and get little driplets, I'd be kind of stupid.
Now let me ask you the question.
Yes.
So if you don't sleep, if you're dehydrated, and if you don't exercise, tell us what is happening to the body that lead to many of the diseases that we are discussing today, like diabetes, heart attack, strokes, cancer, prostate cancer.
The immune system breaks down. The liver, if you take the E off the liver, it's spelled
Live.
live. Now, the liver weighs 3 pounds. It's an organ. And so the liver filters the blood. Once that breaks down, then everything opens up. You open up for all kinds of diseases. It's what causes your liver to go out, which messes with your kidneys and then put so many black folks on kidney dialysis machine. Anger, bitterness.
So your spirit is a part
Did
of
you hear me?
Your spirit, your attitude,
Sugar,
how you look at life.
coffee.
Oh, now coffee is bad. I've not drank coffee since I was 15 years
There is
old.
more stomach cancer caused in America every day from drinking coffee than lung cancer from smoking
But you know,
cigarettes.
why is it that people drink coffee? Why do they feel they have to have
I
it?
need a stimulant. I didn't get
You
my
need a
proper
drug.
sleep. I need a drug.
Instead of having illegal drugs, you decide to use a legal drug.
That's what I did. Hey man, if crack would have been legal, I'd have used it. Whatever white folks say is legal, I took. I was 4 packs of
Why do you
cigarettes
say
a day.
white folks?
Because they determined the law. I didn't determine. One day when they decide what was illegal is legal, we don't determine that.
But that has changed now.
No, wait a minute. Malcolm X pictures on a stamp. Those was white folks put him on a stamp. Wasn't no black folks sitting in that room.
And you're implying?
I'm implying that, there's a power in this country that determines things, and when they determine it, black folk didn't get Trent Lott out. That's a myth. What Trent Lott said, and then we'll get back to this. Here's what Trent Lott said. Trent Lott went back to 1948, okay? 1948, a white lesbian better not come out, her brother would almost stomp her to death. A white gay daddy would almost stomp him to death. Hear me good now. A Jew in the South, give me a break. Also, a white woman didn't have no positions on jobs and better not look cross-eyed at her husband. Now, who is he talking about? He wasn't talking about me. I ain't no problem to America today. It's that white woman that took his job. It's that white woman that's presidents of colleges and universities. It's that white woman that get on TV and say, I'm a lesbian and I'm in love with Mary. And that's what he was saying. Had everybody voted like Mississippi, woo, we wouldn't have the problems we have today.
I gotta tell you, that's an original one.
Now, everybody missed it except you.
No. I missed it.
No,
too.
you didn't. No. I'm saying you said you attacked him immediately. And I shouldn't use that word, but that's to save time. Everybody else came out and said, including the president. And then when they found out where them calls was coming from, the president changed.
So his was not racial.
At all. On the Joe Madison show, I said the next day, I said, y'all in for a big surprise. This ain't got nothing to do with black folk. This got something to do with Now, why do you think all them white newspapers start writing them bad there too? How many gays you think you have, or how many people you have that got children that's gay? You saw what happened to, what's the guy, the Catholic guy that ran for president? He do cross talk back live or whatever.
Pat Buchanan.
When Pat Buchanan came out against lesbians, his daughter held a press conference and he wouldn't have came out against lesbians. Hey, he knew I was one.
No, you mean Dick Cheney.
No.
No,
No,
it wasn't Pat
son,
Buchanan.
I would never do this to Pat Buchanan. My ethics would not permit me to
It
do
was
this.
Cheney's daughter.
Did you hear me? Did you hear me?
Oh, no, it's Gingrich then.
No. This was way before that, son.
Pat Buchanan?
Did you hear me?
They have no children.
I'm telling you.
Pat Buchanan has no children. They never had kids.
Maybe he had adopted.
No, he never had kids. No,
Well, let me-
He has no kids. You're either talking about Cheney or Gingrich. I think it was Cheney.
Okay, well.
It was Cheney.
Excuse me,
because
Pat.
they have no kids.
I'll call and find out.
No, I can tell you.
Okay.
Pat Buchanan has no
Whoever
kids.
it is lived in San Francisco. That's where the press conference was held. In San Francisco.
But keep going.
Okay, so
Okay,
now.
no, I need to take a break because I got to tell you something. You got me out here today, baby. Woo! This is the right side. And Dick Gregory's in the house. And we'll be back. Don't go away. I guess. We're talking about what happens when you have sleep deprivation,
Dehydration.
when you're dehydrated, and when you don't exercise. And the diseases that
Then
it
you
leads
knock out,
to.
the first thing you do is knock out the liver. The liver is an organ and a gland, and it weighs 3 pounds. It's the only thing in your body that's an organ and a gland. Now, what affects it? Anger, bitterness. Laughter is the best medicine. We've heard that all our life, right?
Okay.
When you look at your commercial, when you coming on, when you laughing, if you didn't do nothing but just sit in the mirror for 4 hours, once a week and did that, healing starts. Healing starts. You see, when I laugh, I use certain muscles, and those muscles pinch certain nerves, and those nerves trigger an oil that's dropped into my body that keeps me younger. When I frown and tighten up, I use certain muscles, and those muscles pinch certain nerves that drops a gas into my body that will destroy the cell structure.
Let me ask you an important question, and I know you may not want to answer this.
I'll answer anything.
No, don't say it.
Please.
Have you found a cure to cancer?
Oh, I would not say, you're right. I would not say that. Yes.
Yes, you have.
No. I'm sorry. I would not say that because there's too many people out there that's listening that might stop doing certain things they doing. There's certain things I found out because of my knowledge that I have. For instance, I'm gonna give you this here. Okay. Every Christmas I go up in the mountain. I'm not with my family, with my children. I go up in the mountain and fast. I don't eat, I don't talk, I don't nothing. And I get my gift. Where I went this year, it was cold. So I left, which put me back in DC ahead of time, and I picked up the Chicago Tribune, okay? And in picking up the Chicago Tribune, this didn't run in no other paper, and I get $600 worth of newspapers a week. What's that say there?
Study links early adult deaths to lead.
Now, up until then, I've always kind of believed that lead was a child thing. So then the report came out of Johns Hopkins. I got the report, and I'm showing you this because of cancer. See that word cancer there? Mm-hmm. Now, what does that say? You see 68%?
68%
of cancer deaths is because of the elevated lead in the body. Hello. So now, if I have cancer and I'm taking treatment for cancer and don't realize I got to deal with the lead, my cancer going to be prolonged for a while, but I'm dead. What gets lead out of the body? A simple herb called kelp, K-E-L-P. You take 6 kelp in the morning and 6 kelp in the evening, and it starts pulling the lead out of the body. Now, let me tell you about this article, because this article is me. It says here that lead is the #1 environmental health hazard for children, but a new study indicates that more than 30 million Americans, adults, may be at risk from premature death because of past exposures. And they go on to say that because of the elevated lead levels in adults, lead causes early life up to 46% increased rate of mortality. So it means if you die from sugar diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, it's really an increase. You're taking 46% of your life out. Now,
let me raise this with you. So do you take medicine?
No. I raised 10 children with no medicine, no aspirins, no.
So what do you recommend as an alternative if you need to take medicine, like for colds or a headache, if the doctor said you got high blood pressure or cholesterol?
When I was a little boy, my mother used to give me something called 3-6s. It was bitter.
3-6-6, brother. I know about 6 and Castor.
You know what? 3-6s.
That's some of the nasty stuff.
You know where 3-6s come from? Golden seal, a herb.
Ooh,
see what the pharmaceutical companies found out, that you can't make the money on the herbs. So then they made it synthetically. So it's just a matter of doing, look at dogs. When dogs get sick and they just go out and eat little grass and heal themselves. Now, this is very important here because you mentioned something about high blood pressure. Read that paragraph to me right there. This shocked me to no end.
The research also sheds light on the reason African Americans who tend to be exposed to more lead in the environment have significantly increased rates of some diseases, especially high blood pressure.
Now, wait, hold it. All my life, I've been told salt, right? Mm-hmm. Now, let me tell you, if you live in a house that was built before 1978, there can be no more lead paint. But if I come in and paint your house today with paint with no lead in it, if I'm painting over lead paint, see, the lead in paint turns into a gas, turns into a dust, and you breathe it in.
No, I've seen that on the Science Channel.
Yes.
Where this person could not figure out why they were getting having these illnesses,
That's
and they
right.
traced it back to the paint and the lead in the house. Now I've seen that.
Mental retardation, slow learning of children, okay, cancer. Just finish this here. Look what else they say there, and then you'll see.
Lead's danger to children led to the gradual elimination of leaded gasoline and lead paint, the two major sources of lead in the environment.
Okay.
Hold that point.
Okay.
Let me take a break and come back.
Fine.
Dick Gregory is our guest. Mr. Nutritionist, Mr. Doctor, Mr. Wisdom on the right side. Phones are deadly?
Deadly. That's why I never owned one.
Tell us why.
Well, first, let me do it a roundabout way. The Italian lawyer that owns the Baltimore Orioles,
Right.
he settled about $300 million worth of cell phone cases out of court. I mean, they know that if you pick up the phone on this side and that computer's on the other side, they got to pull that electronical energy all the way through. It breaks down the brain cells, it breaks down the immune system, and it slows up the heart. And that's why I have never owned a cell phone in my life.
And won't.
And
And
never
don't
will.
need it, really.
No.
Don't really.
I would need one. I'd like to have one, but I mean, I saw the research. There's a movie out called Matrix.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, we'll go back and see it again, because what it's about is about how British intelligence put the cell phone together, and all the way through that movie it says to her, only use the land-based phones, remember?
Mm-hmm.
All through that movie, only use the land-based phones.
What else should we look out for?
We've covered it. You know, you get the proper exercise. Now if you want to get into some personal things, sleep with your head north. You can add more time. If you breathe,
How do you sleep with your head north?
you find out where north is in the room.
What if my bed is this way? Which way is north?
Then you change. You
This
find
way?
out. I don't know. But I'm saying here's what you do. I take a compass on the road with me, and when I go to a hotel, I find out north. You take a baby and put a baby in a crib. The baby will seek out north. We keep straightening the baby up. The baby don't turn all the way around the crib. It finds north. Once you lay down like this, every nerve cell in your body is pulled due north. So if you sleep in north, there's no pull. Just like it pulls a compass, it pulls every nerve cell in your body.
Get rid of the coffee.
Get rid of the coffee.
What about tea?
Tea, if you're getting the herbal tea, and one of the best ways to take tea is put it in just water that's room temperature and let it sit overnight.
Oh.
Let it sit overnight, because once you heat anything, you see, if you heat something, you raise the molecules. If you freeze something, you lose the molecules, and those molecules get released inside your body. So if you cook something at like 200 degrees Fahrenheit, although it will be cool, those molecules are still at 200 degrees Fahrenheit.
What about wine?
No, none of it, and especially wine, because if they talk about how the Roman Empire was destroyed, and they traced it back to lead poison. It was the wine crotch that they used because it make it sweeter. That's what the bootleggers use. They use the lead to process the stuff because it takes the bitterness out. No wine. They say a little wine is good. Have you ever seen a wino? They ain't never drank nothing hard, just wine.
What do you, in the last 45 seconds, what do you attribute your longevity to?
Oh, my friends, the civil rights movement, my change of attitude. Before I met King and them, I was John Wayne. I thought if I was right and you was wrong, I had a right to get my gun and challenge you. I didn't understand what being lovable was. I understood love, but I didn't understand being lovable. And I never thought I would see the day that I could sit at 70 and say I'd much rather be killed by someone than kill someone. I never thought I would see the day that I would be sitting in the church for the funeral for the 3 children in Birmingham, and when King say pray for the people that did it, I never thought I'd see the day that I'd be able to pray. And so it was that. Now at the time of doing this, I didn't know the hostility. And then my fasting.
We're out of time. Goodbye. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Gray.
brother.
Thank
Peace
you.
to
God
you.
bless you, and God bless you.